Hey book lovers! So today's video I'm going through my TBR or to be read book list on Goodreads and cleaning up those books that I have no idea why I ever added in the first place. Books that may trigger me in certain ways and books that I'm just not into anymore. So let's see if I can whittle down my 75 book TBR list, which isn't that bad, right? But let's see if we can get it down to maybe, I don't know, 60, 50. Importance of Being Earnest is first, and I've actually read this, so I'm gonna switch it on over to read. And that one's probably gonna be a 4.5 star. I'll come back to that though later. Next, we've got One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I definitely want to keep it. I just need to be in the right mindset when I read it. Same with the next on the list, Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. And then There Were None. I've read it. I need to mark it as read. Gonna move that there. The Red Tent is definitely one that I have been highly anticipating reading, but I just have never gotten around to it. It is a retelling of a story in Genesis in the Bible by Dinah, who is one of the daughters, almost said sons, daughters of Jacob. So this one should be really interesting. I've heard some great things about it. I just need to get around to it. Before We Were Yours. Now, this story is based on a true story about children in a children's home, in an orphanage. And two of my own children are adopted. And so I thought when I added this, that this would be something that I could relate to, or I would enjoy reading because of some insight on issues that are close to my heart. But honestly, I don't know if I actually want to read something that is close to my heart like that. So I'm going to remove that. Grapes of Wrath is next. I've read half of it. I am just not a John Steinbeck fan, and I should stop forcing it, but I'm going to leave it there. Their Eyes Were Watching God. I have not read it. I definitely want to. I started reading it when I was like in a classic spurt and got through about half of it, but I really want to finish it. It's excellent. Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe. I think I'm going to remove this and just let myself enjoy the movie. I love the movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a hoot, but I don't want to read the book. Sophie's Choice. I do want to leave that. Gone with the Wind. Another one of those that I'm just going to let myself enjoy the movie and let's remove it from the TBR list. The Rosie Project. I don't have a clue what this is. An earnest, hilarious, feel-good novel narrated by an oddly charming and socially challenged genetics professor on an unusual quest to find out if he is capable of true love. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna take it off. Okay, Misery Saint and the Defectives. This is just like a cozy mystery. I'm gonna remove it because I'm really not into cozy mysteries. All right, the next is Before and After, and this is the book that tells more of the background on that book that I just removed, so I'm removing this one too. A Midwife Story. Okay, I used to be a doula in a previous lifetime, meaning before kids, well, actually while I had kids, but before we had 5. And so this is a true story, a firsthand account based on someone's life who is a midwife to Amish. I'm going to leave that on there. I Like You, Hospitality Under the Influence by Amy Sedaris. I'm going to keep it. Things No One Will Tell Fat Girls, A Handbook for Unapologetic Living. I feel like I've read this. When I looked at the synopsis, yeah, I don't know. If I haven't read it, honestly, I don't think I want to read it anymore. It's a body positivity book, which, I'm still into body positivity, but I don't know if I want to spend time reading it. The Game You Played. Okay, just based on this cover, I can tell you I probably don't want to read it because I hate reading thriller horror books with kids in them. So, taking that off the list. Let's get that away. Okay, Stranger in the Woods, same thing with this. It's got a kid on the cover, and just quickly scrolling through, it talks about how 2 years ago, the McGregor's daughter died after being abducted. Nope, not doing it. Take that sucker off this list. Can't handle kids dying. Shattered Echoes. I added this because I wanted to read The Muralist, and this was by the same author of The Muralist, and I haven't read The Muralist yet. Is it The Muralist? No, it's The Art Forger. Whew. Mm, it only has 5 reviews. What does that mean? Has it even... I'm... Hmm. I'm gonna remove it. The Muralist. Okay, I was right. I wasn't going crazy. It is the Muralist and the Art Forger, I guess. I'm gonna take that off. I'm not really into it. Mustard Seed. Historical novel, historical fiction. Oh, yeah, yes. It's by the author of Yellow Crocus, which was an amazingly touching book, one of the few that I've cried in. So I definitely am going to keep this on there. And I need to remind myself when I see this cover that that's who wrote it, because every time I would look at this on my TBR, I'd be like, what am I thinking? Why do I have this on the list? Okay, The Trophy Wife by Sunday Tomasetti. And this is also a pen name for, can't remember who, but she's one of my favorite thriller authors when it comes to just like, she's very formulaic, I think, but good. It's when I need something to read that's like bubblegum thriller, is what I call them. And I'm going to keep that on the list. Usually fast paced, really highly engaging. Man of the Year. Let's see. I don't know what this is about. Let's look. Beware the man of the year. You may praise him, resent him, even want to be him, but beneath the elegant trappings that define him, danger looms. Not really feeling that. Let's remove that. Bleep. Great. Temper. Looks like a thriller. Let's see. A brilliantly paced thriller about female ambition and what happens when fake violence draws real blood. A struggling actor. Okay, Katie has read it. 4-star. I usually line up with Katie's reviews within a star or so. I'll keep it. The Family Upstairs is next. Lisa Jewell. I have been dying to read this. It is on my list in Libby, and it just hasn't come up yet to where I can check it out to be available. Keeping it. Confessions on the 745. Keeping it. The Vanishing Half. Definitely want to keep that. From what I know, it's not necessarily a retelling, but draws its inspiration from Passing. So I definitely want to keep that. The Stranger in the Mirror. I'm gonna take that off. I have no idea. No More Words by Carrie Lonsdale. A trilogy, forced to choose between abortion or adoption. Let's remove it. Rock, Paper, Scissors. I love Alice Feeney's work, or I have in the past, but I've read so many bad things about this book, and I actually started trying to read it, and I couldn't get into it, so I'm going to remove it and not feel bad about it. Flowers for Algernon. I teach this short story about every other year at school, and I really enjoy it and the discussions that come from it. So I thought I should probably read the entire novel that, from what I understand or remember, was written after that short story. The Color Purple is next, and I have read that. So moving that to the red book pile. Beloved. Oh, I so want to read it. I read the first few pages, and I couldn't get into it. I was bogged down. I really know that it is a well-respected work, but I'm going to leave it. The Joy Luck Club, leaving it. Small Pleasures, leaving it. A Shoe Story, it's just a fun, good time, leaving it. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Did you know that F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote that? Yup. So I'm going to leave that. No One Is Talking About This is the next one. Is there a life after the internet? As this urgent, genre-defying book opens, a woman who has recently been elevated to prominence for her social media posts travels around the world to meet her adoring fans. I mean, that seems interesting. I hate the cover, though. I'm gonna leave it. The Hungover Games, a true story. I've heard some good things about it. Gonna leave it. Queenie. I started this, and my what do you call it when you check out a book? Yeah, I guess just it expired. Anyway, and I had to return the book without finishing it. I'm leaving it. The Book of Cold Cases, leaving it. Fool Me Once. I think it's a romance, and I'm gonna leave it because I think it's the only romance on my list left, just in case I need a romance to read. but I'm not into romances, just in case you didn't know that about me. Woman on Fire. I don't remember anything about this. Young journalist. I'm usually not really into journalist solving a story, but it has good reviews. 4.03. I'm gonna keep it. Jar of Hearts, keeping it. The Burning Girls, interesting. Unconventional vicar moves to a remote corner. 500 years ago, 8 Protestant martyrs were burned at the stake here. Okay, I'm picking up what that's laying down. I'm gonna leave that. I don't know where I found it. Let's see, Katie, 3.5. I'm gonna leave it. The Other Black Girl, leaving it. Lessons in Chemistry, leaving it. House of Hunger is almost ready for me to check out, leaving that. Betty, started it and wasn't vibing. I'm gonna take it off. The Hacienda, which I always have trouble saying because I want to say La Hacienda, but it's the Hacienda. I'm gonna leave it. It's a Gothic novel, which we all know how much I adore Gothic literature. I'm gonna leave it. I think we're almost done. I Am a Girl from Africa. This one is a memoir, I think, and it was recommended by my mother. I'm going to leave that on there, definitely. Tinfoil Butterfly. I feel like this was a YouTuber recommendation. Look at those reviews, 3.35. Ooh, it's bad, but I'm going to leave it. My Heart is a Chainsaw. Kayla from Lala loves that book. I'm going to leave it. House of Leaves. I've heard that this is maddening to get through, but I'm going to leave it and maybe attempt it someday. How to Sell a Haunted House. I really like some of Grady Hendrix's books, and I really don't like some, and I've heard some not great things about that one, so I'm taking that one off. Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun, number 3. I read number 1. It was great. Number 2 was so-so. I'm going to leave number 3 on there. All right, The Vacationers and All Adults Here, both by Emma Straub, and I read her book. What is that book called? This Time Tomorrow. And I gave that one like a 3.5, so I'm willing to give her another chance because it was a good book. I just I had some issues with it. The Weight of Blood. Okay, this is a retelling of Carrie, which I cannot wait to read. Yellowface. This was highly touted by Katie, and I'm going to leave that on there. I'm excited to read this one as well. Then we have Fahrenheit 451 and Slaughterhouse-5, and I teach both Bradbury and Vonnegut Jr. in my classes at school, so I want to read those. Passing, which I referred to earlier, by Nella Larson, definitely keeping that. And the next few that I have added are categorized as Christian fiction, and I'm really trying to get back into Christian fiction. I took a break for a while because I just was not finding quality written Christian fiction novels. A lot of them were very elementary in the writing style, in vernacular, in syntax, and I just wanted a little bit more. But I really want to like Christian fiction. I really want to find some good Christian fiction. So I'm giving them a chance. I've got The Edge of Belonging by Amanda Cox, which I have started. Not too impressed with the writing style so far, but I am enjoying the plot elements. And then I've got a few more that I'm just definitely leaving on there. One Little Lie, Colleen Cobble. And then the last 3 are newer releases. I think one of them maybe 2 of them haven't even been released yet, and definitely looking forward to those. So let's see. Oh, I'm down to 51 on my TBR list now. I think that is manageable. I think we accomplished something there, right, guys? I think so. Thanks for joining me as I cleaned up my TBR. I'm sure I will pile it full of a gazillion books by this time next week.